Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of Gabbin with Oof. I am your host, the Oofman, your friendly neighborhood Oofman. Just thanking you so much for tuning in. And this has been always a dream of mine to do finally a YouTube show. And here we go. It's my first one. I like to really not edit things. I just do it off the cuff. I do it not necessarily live, but I record live one shot. I'm not magical. I'm not really high tech savvy, so you might not see seeing many things here, but as time goes on, it'll get a little bit better. So what better way to start the first show of Gabbing with the Hoop is we're gonna gab about Captain America: Brave New World. And so just saw it on the this past weekend, and I decided to choose this video to be the first one because I'm seeing a lot of hate and dislike about this poor movie that I thought was really, really good. I mean, I gave it two thumbs up. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So before I go on, if you like what you see, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you can get notifications of new videos start. Again, I'm starting this channel brand new. This is the first episode, and thank you so much for being here. Now, let's get down to business, if we shall. So, Brave New World is a new movie of Captain America in the MCU. Stars Anthony Mackie as the new Cap. And again, I thought it was great. And what I really want to focus on is what others are talking about in the movie. And so I'm noticing that people are saying, and again, these are other YouTube people that I listen to, that I subscribe to, I follow. There's this thing going on that it's not living up to the hype. It's Marvel is not back yet. My feelings is I think after Endgame, that was just a strong storytelling that I think Marvel now can just relax and just make movies. I don't think they're ever going to hit the bars that we saw earlier in the phases of from Iron Man to Endgame. I think that was a beautiful run. All those movies told a great story, and even though the MCU is still continuing on with these stories, I just feel that I think Marvel can just now make movies, and I think everybody's expectations are way too high, are way too strong. But again, though, I get it. It's passion from YouTube reviewers, from bloggers, from MCU fans, from the comic book fans. I completely get it. That you see this property that you love and you adore, and you want the absolute best from it. That's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think a lot of us have to just take two steps back and know that what happened in that phase from Iron Man 1 to Endgame was a beautiful story. It's going to be tough for lightning to strike twice. It's going to be really hard for MCU, the Marvel and Disney to do that all over again. And I just think if they just focus on making good movies, for example, look at DC Comics. They tried it. They tried to follow the MCU's lead, and it's all discombobulated. Directors are changing left and right, and it's just not good. So I think with the introduction of the Batman, and no, I'm really trying to put my bias over it because if you guys, those that know me, know how much I adore Batman. Look what the Batman did. It's just they just made a movie and said, "Hey, let's just restart Batman," which again, there's nothing wrong with it, with a new actor, new stories, but they're staying away from connecting. I don't think the new Superman that's coming out is going to connect with it. If Wonder Woman continues, I don't think the Gal Gadot, if she returns, I don't think that's going to connect. Good. You don't. No one has to be Marvel. Let Marvel be Marvel. So what I'm seeing and reading online about poor Captain America 4 is first of all they're comparing it to the other ones. You can't do that. That's not fair because what we had with Steve Rogers with the previous movies were great. Personally, I believe Civil War is the best Captain America there is out there. Right behind it, with like a hair behind it, is Winter Soldier. So that's a one-two punch right there. And then obviously the first part. The part four, this brand new one, again, like I said, is pretty good, and I just don't get the heat that's on there. And again, it's just the bar, the expectation of what people have for their love and their passion for the comic books. But again, there's really nothing wrong with that. But I just think fans, we need to bring the measuring stick down and just know, like, look, what we had before was great. I applaud Disney, I applaud Marvel for everything they did. But give this one a chance is all I have to say. Marvel did a good job. It was a good movie. Was it a spectacular movie? No. The action scenes were great. No spoilers for the record. I should have said in the beginning. There's no spoilers here, so don't worry about it. So the effects were good. I mean, yeah, obviously you could tell what's green screen, what's real, but that really never bothered me. I'm just looking for a good entertainment movie, no matter how long the movie's going to play out, just to be entertained. If do I understand the story? I don't need to necessarily know the ins and outs of every character, right? I have an idea who these guys are. But for those who haven't seen it yet, again, this is opening weekend. If you still haven't gone seen it or you're on the fence to go to see it, I highly recommend watching Falcon and Winter Soldier on Disney Plus. That's a must. Just to, in case you don't know what's going on, understanding his suit. There are some cameos, some other characters in there from not only the MCU but from Falcon and Winter Soldier. If you want to make the connections. Now, as far as I mentioned earlier, maybe these they should stay away from connecting the movies. But again, Marvel has just done a good job with it where that first part ending with Endgame was so great. Now could just chill and be like, all right, let's continue. Let's do what we did earlier, but don't like hype it so much within yourselves when you're making the movie. Don't hype it with us with the fans. Just keep it cool. And so on that note, the Thunderbolts are somehow connect are I'm sure going to be connected to this movie. They're going to connect these two movies. So there's the hype for that. I'm excited to see it. If you've seen the trailer looks great. I love all those characters. But again, I highly recommend going back to seeing a lot of the Disney Plus shows. So to get really this new Captain America, I highly recommend going to see Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's only a couple episodes long, and you'll pick up the story immediately just to know the ins and outs of what's going on. Obviously, one of the biggest things in the movies is that William Hurt is not in the movie. He passed away sadly a couple years ago, and they recasted him with Harrison Ford and as President Ross. So, and I think he was fantastic. Everyone's like, he's 80 something years old. Yeah, but it's still Harrison Ford. I thought he was great. I mean, he just plays that character, that authority character so well. And you see a little bit of William Hunt in there, and that's what's cool. I'm sure Harrison did his homework when it came to doing his research on getting the character. And I think he nailed it fantastically. Again, I don't care if he's over 80 plus. Yeah, the latest Indiana Jones were, but well, that's another franchise, another day for another video. Maybe down the line we'll see what happens. I don't care. But I think Harrison Ford nailed it. There is a new Falcon in there, the actor whose name escapes me at the moment. He was fantastic. Again, he came from Falcon and Winter Soldier. So again, when you see that, you understand who he is. I thought he was good. Again, I think the movie overall was good. The main villain, again, no spoilers. The main villain, he wasn't threatening like we've had in the past, because this is all what we had in the past. Again, obviously Thanos. I mean, he's Thanos, so who's gonna mess with him? And Loki and anybody else, they were like extraterrestrial beings from other planets, from space. Cool, fine, nothing wrong with that. So the villain here, he's not really scary as he is like he's a plotter. He plots things and it's suspenseful. It's not like, there's a big spaceship coming from the sky, run away. No, he plots and he plans things and he has it all set up. So that's the angle they're going at. It's really a spy movie. I think I want to say that that's a fair comparison. It's really the spy game is in here. Yeah, the soldier part is in there where Cap and Falcon and everybody else is kicking butt, and you see scenes and reminiscings of that stuff. But it's more of a spy movie. It's a cat and mouse game where Cap's got to figure things out, and I think that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we're all used to just seeing superhero movies go in there, beat the person up, chillax, epic climax fight, slows down a little, another epic fight. You get that here too, but here it makes the movie makes you think like, okay, who's behind this? Who could it be? And then when they revealed who it was, I'm like, oh, him. And that was pretty cool. And again, it actually comes, it's almost like a little sequel, not only for Captain America Part 4, but if you remember the Incredible Hulk way in the beginning of the MCU timeline, in the timeline, it's right after Iron Man. So, do I recommend watching The Incredible Hulk before seeing this? If you had never seen it before, yes, because The Incredible Hulk, it is part of the MCU. So, I think you should go see that to understand the characters a little bit. Because in the timeline, Ross is going chasing everybody, and we all know that. We've seen him in the Avengers, we've seen him in Black Widow, but it really started back in the Incredible Hulk. That's where he started, and he has this thing against not only superheroes but these super enhanced heroes. And obviously, the cat's out of the bag. If you've seen the trailer for the movie, you've seen the Red Hulk, and we all know that's who Harrison Ford is, who President Ross turns into. And so it's like irony there, where he's not too crazy about these super enhanced people, and then he actually turns into one himself. And again, that's not spoiling anything because you've seen the trailer, you've seen the movie posters, you've seen them all. Red Hulk is in there. And again, the fight scenes were pretty cool. It reminded me of the Avengers. It reminded me of Hulk fighting Thor in the aircraft in the sky. A little bit of Tony in his suit with Hulk in Avengers: Age of Ultron. So I think it connected to the other movies as it should, but again, I think it just goes back to the focus of everybody, us as fans, people as critics. It's just that. It's just I think we just need to enjoy it for what it is. Enjoy it for a great movie. It's fun. It runs about an hour and change, almost 2 hours. Yeah, there are some parts where it slows down, but MCU movies need to do that because they're really into the fighting scenes. They're really into the CGI effects. And again, sometimes it messes with you, like what's CGI, what's real, what's CGI, what's real, and you're sitting there wondering and pondering. But the time flew by. I mean, the 2 hours just quickly went by, and the story grabs you. There's little new surprises. There's a challenge that Cap has to face, given to him by Ross, an order from him, which is going to be interesting because again, it's just going to show you like they're going to continue to connect all these movies together. Which again, there's nothing wrong with that. But I think it's the reception of us, the fans, where we just need to watch it and enjoy it for what it is. Now, I get it for, like I said earlier, I get it for those fans who know everything, every detail, like you know what Falcon did before this, or you knew what Cap did. Yeah, you know every statistic of the characters. I think we really need to take a step back from that. Again, that is passion, which I agree with. Again, as a Batman fan, I know my Batman stuff. I don't know everything about him, but I know the basics of him, and I'm like that too. I'm a little judgmental as well, but I just really, at the end of the day, I just go, is this movie loyal to the subject, and is it good? So a quick recap. Haha, see what I did there? Captain. Anyway, so a quick recap. So like I said, I'm a huge Batman fan. So growing up, it was the '66 TV show with Adam West and Burt Ward, and it was great. But I was 8. I was 7 when I saw that. I didn't know better. Enter 1989, Tim Burton with, again, my personal opinion, the greatest Batman actor ever, Mr. Michael Keaton. The '89 movie was what we were expecting. What everybody has said, it's been hitting over 30 years. It's everything everybody wanted. They wanted a dark Batman because again, we all had the '66 Batman in us. And so here comes Tim Burton and here comes Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson, everybody from that, and they made Batman '89, and it was phenomenal because we had a dark and gloomy, not only Gotham, but we had a dark and gloomy Batman as well. And it was great. And to this day, and as much as other movies are good and all that, which we'll get into, it's not only my all-time favorite Batman movie, in my personal opinion, but also my personal opinion, it's the best Batman movie, period. So we progress. We move on to now Batman Returns. That movie is 100% a Tim Burton movie. And if just to show you, if you've seen The Nightmare Before Christmas, that's just Batman Returns animated, in my personal opinion. Just the way the camera moves in Penguin's Lair and all that. Every time I see Batman Returns, I think of The Nightmare Before Christmas. But that movie is strictly a Tim Burton movie. Again, nothing wrong with that. It did all right. Danny DeVito was great. Michelle Pfeiffer was phenomenal as Catwoman. But again, that's the story they told. All right, it's the continuation of a story, and it was good. Again, not as good as '89, but it was just as good. We then get a director change and enter Joel Schumacher with Batman Forever. Again, I'm showing a little how I feel about that movie. It was good, all right. Val Kilmer did okay, but again, though, that's the director's vision of just changing it a little bit. Gotham became a little too colorfully for me, but again, till the continuation was there, introduction of Two-Face, of the Riddler, and again, the story progressed. We moved to Batman and Robin. So after Batman and Robin, after all these years, I understand what Joel Schumacher was trying to do with Batman and Robin. I read an interview. He passed away unfortunately many years ago, but I read an interview where he said that, I'm paraphrasing, that he got a note from the studio to make an immediate sequel because Batman Forever did so good, and keep it real, Jim Carrey was probably the reason why it was so good because he was on fire when Forever came out. So when he was told by the studio to make a sequel of to Batman Forever, enter Batman and Robin, he didn't have time to like actually sit and think of the story, so his back was against the wall. And basically, in the interview, he said that he was actually tipping his hat to the '66 TV show because they finally inserted Robin. Well, you got Batman and Robin there, so he looked at the '66 TV show as inspiration, even the '60s movie as inspiration, and that's why we got Batman and Robin. Again, it bombed, and everybody thought like again some fans, not necessarily me, but some fans felt insulted that it was an insult to the source material. Fine, cool, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Enter Christopher Nolan. We went back to basics. So we started with Batman Begins. All right, the nucleus of what made him him. Even though we've seen it a billion times, I felt like it was a new perspective, a new angle, a new director saying, "Hey, this is how I see the Dark Knight's beginnings." And then we get, which I think is probably right behind 89, like a hair behind it in second place of the greatest Batman movie of all time, is The Dark Knight. And what is great about The Dark Knight is Batman can, if possibly, can exist in our real world. He can. A guy can be, he can be a rich guy and he could have not superpowers, but he can actually spend money and create his suit. He can create the car, and there actually could be a Batman in real life. Is basically what I'm saying. So again, nothing wrong with that. So the Dark Knight, phenomenal, great, and then Dark Knight Rises. That gets, I don't know why people smack it around, but I thought it was great. I thought Dark Knight Rises was phenomenal. Again, the Dark Knight trilogy did a great job in tying all three together. He had a nice little bow. You had it there. Cool. Again, personally not a fan of Ben Affleck. I saw Justice League. I feel like I'm still watching it. It's just, again, I wasn't entertained. I didn't like it. Opinion. But again, though, I didn't throw temper tantrums. I didn't say this is, I just went, I just don't like it. I don't like him I couldn't take him seriously as a Batman. And then we have Robert Pattinson, the Batman. I feel like it's Arkham Knight, the movie. So if you played the video game, you know what I'm talking about. It's just now it's on the screen that Gotham looked like it. So again, though, all these interpretations of Batman, and as a fan, I went, all right, at the end of the day, was I entertained? So for Justice League, I wasn't. I didn't like it. But just because I just wasn't entertained, and just the CGI was just bleeding all over the screen, and I just didn't like it. I'm like, oh, this has got to go. And again, didn't like it, refused to watch it again, moving on. So for Captain America, I think that's what's going on in the MCU. But now it's overall. It's like overall when they make a movie, I think a lot of fans have these expectations like, you're right, this Cap, this Iron Man, this Avengers movie, they were so good. It's almost like a drug where fans like want more. Like, you gave us this, come on, give us this. And then when Marvel and Disney give us said project, the fans are highly disappointed. Yes, there are some MCU movies that are terrible. I get it. But now with Cap, though, it's, I think, because First Avenger was really good. Winter Soldier was phenomenal. Civil War, Chef's Kiss. So you have these three punches to the guts, uppercuts, boom, one after another in the timeline. So then you introduce a new Cap, and I don't think it's anything against Anthony as an actor because he's great. It's just, I think, the story or perhaps the production of the movie where fans are just expecting way too much. And again, I think we really need to sit back, chill out, and go, all right, let's just enjoy it for what it is. And then if you want to get technical, hopefully you get technical for the story or for the character or something like that. Not necessarily like because, oh, that's green screen, I'm shut off. Well, of course it's going to be green screen. I mean, you can even again bringing it back to Dark Knight. When I saw behind the scene features, things that I thought were real was CG, and I'm like, wait, how? That was no, that had to be real. No, it was CG. The plane, the introduction to the Dark Knight Rises, that was done with real planes, but also miniatures. And I said to going like, mind blown, like, wow, that was fake. This is fake. That and all that. And in the Dark Knight, when he jumps off the building in Japan, I believe it is. I thought he really jumped off a building. No, he just that was all green screen. It's like, okay, that is when CG is great when it messes with your mind. In Civil War, the airport scene, that's a majority of it CG. But again, it's just done so good, or it's like, oh, it looks real and all that. So poor Cap. Again, I think this movie was really, really good. It was very entertaining. Like I said, the 2 hours flew by, really. And the story was great. It makes Cap think and play detective in a weird way to figure out what is going on. And again, the story was simple. Maybe that's another thing too, where people don't want simplicity when it comes to their MCU, precious MCU movies. Because again, what we had earlier was simplicity, but it was just on a global, magical, high bar scale where people I think want that back. They want to feel everything they went through there. And again, I don't think it's fair to hook it onto these movies because then some people won't give this movie a shot. And I've seen online people, not only real critics but just fan critics, like, oh, again, always the rule of the land is don't judge a movie by its trailer. The trailer was great. It didn't take away all the big scenes of the movie. I was a little shocked that they showed a lot of Red Hulk, and I'm like, not that again watching the movie I was spoiled or anything, but I was just sitting there going like, wow, I really wish they would have just showed us not so much. Like, all right, there's a Red Hulk, cool. I wish they would have messed with their heads. Like, I wonder who he could be. But then, and I think in the last trailer before the movie came out, it's Ross. And it's like, ah. And then, of course, you have your fans that know who he is, and it's like, okay, the Red Hulk is it? Even I cheated. I googled who is Red Hulk, and it was who it was. So I was like, whatever. But I think Captain America 4 is a really good movie. I think it's getting chopped up through criticism. Everyone's listens. I don't listen to Rotten Tomatoes. If it gets a good score, great. If it gets a bad score, I'm ultimately the ultimate judge. But I think the new Cap is just getting bombarded by unfairness, if that's a good word or correct word. But I just think it should be watched and then give your point of view. I think people are seeing too many critics and going, oh, he didn't like it. Oh, there's a lot of guys on YouTube I listen to, and then I again, I'm the ultimate judge. If this critic says it's good, this critic says it's bad. All right, clearly I'm in the middle. I'm the tiebreaker. If the majority of them say it's good, and then I finally see it and I say no, I think that sucked. Again, I'm ultimately the critic. But I think a bunch of these critics and a bunch of fans are just setting the bar just way too high. And a message to all us fans of anything, let's bring it down a little bit because if we hype it too much in our own brains, then we're never going to enjoy what we're watching. We're never going to enjoy cinema as it's meant to be. We're not going to enjoy these stories that these people, again, congrats to everybody who does this, everybody who was part of, again, that creation from Iron Man to Endgame. It's like that bow is just so tight on there that okay, leave that alone, and now let's start the new phase, the new timeline, a new storyline, a new direction with possibly new characters or the same ones. We got the Fantastic Four coming up. Again, I thought the originals were great with Jessica Alba and all them people. I thought the Silver Surfer, the sequel, not so much, but the original Fantastic Four I thought was great. I liked it. And then Silver Surfer entered, and then the one after that came out, that bombed again. I think I refused to watch it because again, I just didn't like what they were giving me. I saw the movie and I did not like it. But again, though, it's just about that. It's me going into that story. Like, am I being entertained? Does the story have me? The story didn't hook me. I wasn't suspended in disbelief. I wasn't. I was trying to, but I was trying to understand the movie and I couldn't. The Jessica Alba, the original ones, was easy. Like, okay, Fantastic Four fighting this is this. Oh, cool. And I enjoyed the movie. The new one, I did not so much because I just couldn't get into it. So now we have a new one. They look great. If you saw the trailer, it looks fantastic. No pun intended. But it looks really, really good. Thunderbolts is coming out again. Looks good. I know those characters, so now when I go into the theater to watch it, again, I'm not gonna have expectations high. I'm just gonna be like, I know the characters, I know who they are. Entertain me, get me hooked, get me to believe this story. That's what Cap 4 did. I believed the story. Since when the movie begins, it's got me hooked. Like, all right, it's a new Cap, it's a new movie, and the storyline progresses of Sam trying to help his friends and all that, and figuring it all out, and it's good. It got me hooked, and once I was hooked, then when the movie ended, I was satisfied. I'm like, all right, this movie did a good job to keep my attention, number one. It did good to keep me hooked on the story and these characters who I've already known. I'm like, all right, they're still the same guys. They're progressing. Again, Harrison Ford had to give his own twist now to the new character. Everything, all the check marks checked out. And I went, this movie is really, really good. Again, I enjoyed it, and not many people did it, but again, hopefully in the end, everybody gives this movie a shot. And again, if you're a fan of Captain America, if you're a fan of Marvel, and if you just lower the bar, I think you're gonna enjoy this. I think you're gonna really like this movie. We're gonna cheer Cap on. Again, no spoilers, but at the end it says Captain America will return. Cool. I hope he does because I like where this is going. I like the angle it's going to, and we're just gonna have to continue on cheering these characters on, and we just gotta hope that Disney and Marvel know what they do and give them the reins. Go, all right, man, entertain us. So this was a really long video for my first time. So for those of you who actually stopped and watched, thank you so much. Again, if you like what you saw, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bells for new videos to pop up, which they are, because again, this is the brand new era of Oofman Entertainment. This is episode one, Gabbin with Oof. We're gabbing about Captain America. And just a quick little preview of my future videos. I'm going to talk about anything I want, anything that gets my attention, anything that's out there, any breaking news, things that are affecting me personally or worldwide. I'm going to try to keep it funny and light with entertainment stuff like movies. And as you can see behind me, I'm a huge wrestling fan, so I'll be talking wrestling a lot. I'll be talking movies a lot. But then there'll be some serious subjects I'll be talking about. But again, this is my channel. I'm here to entertain. I've been dying to do this, and now that I finally got this thing rolling, that's what I'm going to do. Just to entertain and hopefully distract you guys and myself from things that are going on, and maybe to put a smile on someone's face or just to get a perspective of opinion of another side. That is what I intend to do. So thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Again, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell for future videos. The videos are going to be popping out randomly, so make sure you do have your settings on that bell because I'm going to pop videos when I decide to make one or something grabs my attention and I want to address it or I just want to give my opinion on it. This is going to be a very opinionated show. I can tell you this right now. All my shows are going to be very opinionated. But what do you think? For any of you guys who've seen the movie, what did you think of the new Cap? Hit up the comment section. Let me know what you think. Give me your thoughts on what you want to see in the MCU. What do you think of where this new MCU storylines are going to go? Whatever it is, feel free to comment below. Other than that, that's all I got for you guys on this. Again, this brand new debuting episode of Gabbing with Oof. We are gabbing about the new Captain America movie here on episode one. So until next time, please take good care of yourself, everybody around you, and of course, God bless.